So here's the potter's wheel I'm using, and I'll place a link to it in Amazon. Quite straightforward. I mean, you've got it goes both clockwise and counterclockwise, and you can adjust the speed by pressing down this pedal, so you go slower. I find that handy if I've put a block on and the speed is causing too much wobble, so I'll sort of lower the speed that way, obviously speed it up. There's no pedal to use here, that flicks it off, or simply use that and that shuts it off pretty much instantaneously. It is electric. Some details you can see there. I mean, this is an 8-inch. Well, I don't think it matters really what you go for. I just chose that because it seemed to do everything I want, though not everybody's got space for that pedal, but I've got no problem with it being there. You want a flat, stable surface for it, because if it wobbles, then obviously you don't need to wobble off of an unstable table. Also, what I like about it is this one on the area. What I like about this as well is you're quite a deep trough, which you'd expect for pottery anyway. So an awful lot of the water you're using to irrigate the sanding and the glass is being collected in here. And to be honest with you, I've never seen it full yet. I mean, by the time I'm finished, I've gone away and the stuff's kind of evaporated off. And yeah, so I mean, this is all just some sanding stuff. These are the embed blocks I'm using too. That's obviously just for sitting there. That is 150 grit. That enables me to sand down any cuts that are a bit rough. They're a bit uneven, so to speak. So I use these on that, and then you can see I've got sandpapers of various grits that I've also used here. So I use a combination of this and hand sanding. I don't think you can get away with doing hand sanding, to be honest with you, because even if you do sand down here and get rid of the initial edges, I do find that some of the edges inside the glass in particular can still feel a bit sharp. So you probably need a bit of sandpaper just to sand those down. But what it does do, I think, is help you shape the glass far more quickly and easier. I'm not going to go through that because my other videos have already done it. I've got a jug here for dipping my glasses into. This could probably do with being a bit bigger, to be fair. And that's the first ever Jack Daniel's glass I tried to cut with a wet saw, and it made a right hash of it. So it's now just holding bits and pieces for me. It's not doing any harm there for me on that front. It's doing a good job. It will never be drunk from. I mean, it's in quite a bad mess. And even with my skills such as they are, a number of months hence, I don't think I could get that into a state where I'd want to drink from it. And I'm not so sure, given how I've been using it, I would want to. But nevertheless, it still has a good job holding stationery and other things I might need while I'm doing this right there. And even has a nice little place where I can put my pads up like that when they are not in use. These ones are quite brutal. I wouldn't use these for fine sanding. I'd use sandpaper for fine sanding. But if you got something that's really quite stubborn and sanding's really not cutting it, these are quite good. And you can also cut them up to use on those blocks that I've got. So, and obviously with the velcro, they're interchangeable. These have got a velcro back, a soft velcro. So these are quite compatible to go with the hooks, which I'm going to put on that wheel shortly, and that will hold that nicely and securely in place while you're working. The reason I've stripped off the velcro from here is it wasn't entirely level. Wasn't a problem for this kind of work, but when it came to putting sandpaper on, as you can see, there's a dirty great big square on there. And so when I was doing the sanding, it wasn't even for when I was sight sanding anything on the side, and not even particularly great for sanding anything face down. So I've decided to strip it off and redo it, but I've covered that in another video. This is more about the potter's wheel I'm using. I will put a link to where you can buy this one if you want this particular model. That's entirely up to you. I'm not endorsing it. It just happens to work for me. So yeah, this is what we do. And I will say, if you're coming into this, and if some of you have even following me, let me tell you, this is not an easy pastime. There's a lot of patience involved. And I will tell you now, with the best will in the world, you're not going to get from a bottle to a nice glass. You know, I don't have any examples here because these are all the ones I'm working on. But you know, this one, so you're not going to get from a bottle to that in under, you know, it's going to take time. The cut, the sanding, the polishing, because, you know, there's the aesthetics behind it as well. I mean, it might be safe to drink from when you've got to 100 or 240 grit, but they like to get rid of the white edges, our customers, and that takes a bit of extra polish. So if you haven't got that patience, I'd say go and find something else to do. Sorry I'm blunt like that. But anyway, guys, just wanted to show you what I'm up to today. I will try to record more. I do have that gadget out there you saw earlier on to put my phone in. And somewhere I've got a remote control to hand it, and I've got earbuds, as you can see. And I won't be wearing a mask or goggles. You could probably more clearly hear me. Thank you to Bobby Geese or Glasstastic for pointing it out to me. Anyway, guys, that's all for me for now. Ta-ta for now. From Upcycle Out.